Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the SDG Media Zone, coming live from Lisbon, Portugal. My name is Francine Harrigan. I'm the UN spokesperson for the conference this week. Thank you to everyone for joining us today at the conference, but also online. It gives me great pleasure to welcome a very special guest to our opening session of the zone today, and some extra special guests at the front here as well. But let me pass the floor to my colleague from UN Environment that will do the full introduction. Susan, over to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I'm Susan Gardner. I'm the director of the Ecosystems Division and the head of delegation to the UN Environment Program to this UN Oceans Conference. I think that most of us are here today because we understand that we have to fix what's broken in our planet. And truly, the ocean is taking the brunt of this challenge. Let me just paint a picture for you of SDG 14, Life Below Water. It's, in a lot of ways, it's a world of mystery. I mean, imagine we know more about the face of the moon than we do about our ocean, even though the ocean covers about 70% of our planet, making it the blue planet. Today, about 20% of the ocean has been explored, and really only about 90% of the species, the ocean species, have been understood and described. And we heard just this morning the Secretary General called for 80% of mapping of the seabed in the next couple decades. And yet, we know that the health of the ocean is essential to life on Earth. We know that our ocean provides half of the oxygen that we breathe, and it plays a crucial role also in climate stability. About 90% of the extra heat that we produce because of our carbon emissions is absorbed in the ocean. So that means that the world is not as hot as it would be otherwise. But we do also know that our ocean is in trouble. And we know that it's in trouble because of what we understand is the triple planetary crisis of climate instability, of loss of biodiversity and nature, and of rampant pollution. There's 4 primary measures of climate change. It's ocean acidification, it's ocean temperature, it's greenhouse gas concentration, and it's sea level rise. And last year in 2021, all 4 measures were higher than ever recorded. Meanwhile, about 11 million metric tons of plastic flowed into our aquatic ecosystems. More than 80% of wastewater was discharged, not treated, directly into waterways. And we had discharge of nutrients that actually has resulted in over 500 dead zones in our world's ocean. So I know this sounds like perhaps an overwhelming laundry list of concerns and assaults on the seas, but facts are facts, right? But the good news is that we do have the scientific knowledge and we have the know-how to take real action to the problems and the challenges facing the ocean. And we're also seeing, especially here in this conference, we're seeing political will stepping up. The political will we need right now in this moment. This is a really important conference. It's galvanizing political will. It's building ocean literacy. It's building an understanding that if we're going to care for our ocean, then we're in fact caring for ourselves. And we really only succeed if leaders are paying attention. And we know that leaders pay attention when people are paying attention, right? And my job at UNEP is to support the science and the information that informs decision makers to have the right policies. And to do my job well, we have to figure out how to get through all the clutter and get to the facts and compete for the hearts and minds. So sometimes to do that, to really get through the clutter, to compete for the hearts and minds, you need superhuman strength and capacity, right? You know what I'm talking about? That kind of power. you might need a little Jason Momoa magic to help with an issue like this. So I'm so pleased to have this opportunity to welcome Jason Momoa, some circles known as Aquaman, to the stage so we could chat a little bit. Jason, welcome, welcome. It's so good to see you.
Hi, everyone. Is this on? Is it on? Hello? It's all right, I got a big enough voice.
All right, we can pass this back and forth.
Sure.
So, yesterday, we had a beautiful day on the beach. We were the beautiful shores of Portugal. We were at the Youth and Innovation Forum. It was amazing. There's so much inspirational ideas coming from young people. How did you feel? Did you have the same impression?
Yeah. Whoa. Wow. All right. I had a wonderful time. I had a wonderful time. It was my first time actually on a sailboat quite like that, and it was going to be this grand entrance onto the beach, and the waves didn't let us get on, so we had to have a little adventure to get there, but it was amazing. I've never participated in anything like this before. It really is a huge honor for me because this is my passion. My career is acting, and I have hobbies, but my passion is, since I was a little boy, I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I was so obsessed with saving our planet, and everything that we're talking about now, I went to school for and wanted to do. And so to see the next generation, knowing that there are true leaders, the generation before has made a mess of things. Even my generation's trying to do their best, but we need to inspire the next, and paving that way and seeing their voices and being able to have a platform where I can now really shake some stuff up and use my superhero powers to get it out there and so their voices can be heard. I love it, and I love being a part of it. So yesterday was a very special thing, and then also my two beautiful children were here, Lola and Wolf, and I hope, that's what we're doing it for. I'm doing it for them, and they know that I'm terrified of giving speeches. It's one thing when you're talking about some character you're playing, it's another thing when it's your heart. And it's what I love to do, and they know I get nervous. Get up here, and I'm like, see, boy, if I can get up in front of the UN and we have to do, you're going to do it too. So, I want them to follow my footsteps too. Obviously, this is our world. This is what we're saving it for. So.
And they got to be there. We were in the audience with the Secretary General. Can you imagine, as a teenager, to be listening in person with the Secretary General? Well, and I think in some ways, so I have a couple kids of my own, so I know a little bit how you feel. Like, I always look back at my own background. So I think we have in common, we both started in marine biology. I think we both had times in our careers where we sort of moved away from there, but then came back to it. And particularly you coming from an island, what was that like?
It's awesome we have things in common. You can tell your children, yes, we have that in common. I was born in Hawaii. My father's full Hawaiian, and my mother is from Iowa. So it's middle of America. It's very flat. There's no waves. There's no ocean. There's no mountains. There's, just good old hardworking people and great family life. And but they're two totally different worlds. And I fell in love, obviously, with the ocean. I'm so connected to it. My father's a waterman. I was just raised in that in the summers with him. And then I'd go back to Iowa, which I love very much, but we just didn't have that. But they had these classes that I could take, and it was these marine biology classes at this central campus. And I was the only person out of my school. It was me and one other guy out of our school that had got accepted into this special little united kind of campus. And we would travel down to the Keys, and we would study marine biology on our spring breaks. And obviously we'd just do all the paperwork and just in all the knowledge being back in Iowa. But it was wonderful because the passion from Hawaii, being Hawaiian, but I found it in Iowa. And so that was that kind of passion, it's been there my whole life. So even when we got into acting later, it's amazing to come full circle to be like, I'm Aquaman now. I have these little children, which is the craziest thing to say. And then you have these children looking up to you, just going like, I can't believe, looking to you, and you're a hero. And I just wanted to make a change. So while so many people talk, I was like, I have to stop plastic pollution. I have to do everything I can for plastic pollution, which is why I started Monanalu, which is why there's many other companies and many other initiatives that I want to highlight and bring so we can just take action. And so now I have this platform through acting, but I'm going back to my passion for, being a marine biologist. And even though I wasn't smart enough, I can meet all the great scientists who are smart enough and then pass that around and be able to share that with the world. So it's kind of it's a dream come true. Sorry, I'm a little long-winded.
Oh, I love it, love it. You haven't lost the attention of anyone. So, Aquaman. So in Keys, the Florida Keys, beautiful coral reefs. I can imagine it just stole your heart. Tell us about your experience as Aquaman.
Well, if I was gonna leak any information, I'd be doing it at the UN. So you guys are very lucky. It's really exciting because after we did Aquaman 1, it really obviously blew up. It did very well, and literally right after that, I wrote the treatment with my writing partner. We wrote a 50-page treatment for Aquaman 2, which then I instantly went into Warner Brothers and submitted to everyone, and they loved it. And it was really rooted in, without giving too much away because I want you to enjoy it, it was really rooted in what's happening on our planet and expediting what's the possibilities so we can really visually see what's going to happen, and we can do it very quickly in film to show you what's really going to happen, how the storms are going to change, how everything gets affected, and how we're in a lot of trouble. And there's no aliens, there's nowhere in another world, there's no nothing. It's right here, it's on our planet. And by expediting some of these things that are already happening with climate change, and it's just being able to show everyone that it needs to happen now. And in this beautiful movie, I get to go to the UN, and it was I just got chicken skin. It was a really hard moment because there was really 200 extras there from all over. It looked like I'm at the UN. I'm in the full gold suit. And I give a speech, and they have a teleprompter, and I'm like, no way. I wrote this goddamn thing. I don't want to tell it. So, at least I was that prepared where I could just deliver this speech, which is to the world. And, my grandmother passed away, who's my closest, I was raised by her and my mother. She passed the day before. And I was so emotional, and I was going to cancel the day. It's like, I could not do this. And I got to stand up and deliver what meant the most to me. And it's an amazing scene, and I'm very thankful. And I'm excited for people to see Aquaman 2, but it's something so dear to my heart to the point that I had a big hand in showing the world what's going to happen and making a great story out of it too. But shit's getting real, and it's time to act now. And so I really wanted that crossover from my personal life, what's happening in our world, to go into this story. And hopefully people can make some change. And then here we are. Now I'm with you at the UN, giving this and telling you, spoiler alert, which is now going to go out to the whole world. Good! Because we need change, man. Okay.
I love it. I'm getting teary, and I have not even seen it. Oh, my gosh. But, our grandparents and our parents, they live on in our children. Yeah. And beautiful children taking the nature baton forward, with the youth moving forward. It's a scary time to be a parent because there's so many threats and challenges, and we are afraid of what we're leaving them. But there's also, we have so much inspiration and hope in terms of how they're going to do so much better. What are your thoughts, this is the last question. Tell me a little bit as a parent, what is your thought about the next generation and your kids?
Whew. I know, I just got emotional. It's tough because I wanted my children to be here because, this is the most important thing that I'm doing right now. It's, making movies is, you do it, you film it, 2 years later, you're advertising, it comes out, everyone loves it. But this is like right now, and this is my passion. And the world is literally, it's dumpster fires every day that we're trying to put out, and this is the most important. It's our world. While everything is important, it's like if we don't do something now and make some change and stop people from just talking and actually doing action, because the truth of it is, it's with the next generation. It is with my babies and your babies and the grandchildren coming. It's like they're the ones that we're doing it for, and for the generation that doesn't get it and are too stubborn and old and don't want to make that change, the next generation has to do it. And I'm here to help them. I want to bridge the gap, and I'm excited because we're right on the edge, and every day is like a little bit of a downer, and you're just like, God damn it, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep pushing forward. And so I hope these two will be up here someday, and I can be the proud father watching my children forge forward, doing what I'm trying to do for them. So good luck, kids.
I imagine they're going to beat everybody's expectations. Thank you all so much for joining us. Jason, thank you in particular for what you're bringing in terms of both substance as well as that fairy dust.
I'd love to ask, there's so many people here that I got to, see from Colombia. Is there anyone that has a question? They may have a question for us, maybe.
Should we give them a chance after you have, what if we make it official?
Yes.
And then once you're official, then we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. All right, so we need a little help.
Oh my goodness. Come stay next to me.
All right, that's the first one.
Megan.
All right. This. You take a okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you UNEP's Advocate for Life Below Water, Jason Momoa.
Thank you very much. It's a true honor. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm gonna make this some different. I have a question for Jason, but I have a question for the kids. Yeah, kids have power. I work with little kids, and we are young. Yesterday we were 150 young people making solutions, because it's not only talking. So my question is, what do you guys think we can do right now to change the world? We are with the leaders of the world. What are you kids asking them to do? Not to talk, to do. And what are you asking them to do? What are like these policies they need to do? And what can we as kids do to change the world? That's my questions. And yes, family first, always remember that. Thank you, Jason, for inspiring all of us.
Would you like to start? No, you can go.
My loves, your first interview. What would we like to do? Well, I want to see change. I want to see change. So, this is my first time actually meeting with politicians, sitting down, getting to be able to be at something like this, kind of baffled. But the truth of it is, wanting to see a difference in the coral reefs, understanding, educating myself and my children, going like, well, 90% of these coral reefs we're not going to be able to save. And there is 10% that we can. And that we can use that to rebuild. So having that knowledge, acting now, because when I'm looking at you guys going like, well, where my whole goal is plastic pollution, I think for me, and my kids have seen it, you guys can answer how very strong Papa is about plastic. When they want when they want boba, I'm like, you ain't getting no boba unless you bring a metal straw. It's not happening. So it comes down to the household where I'm like, no, listen, plastic pollution, I am all over it. I have to tackle that. But there's so many things that life below water that I have to account for, that I'm excited to do, because you may be acidity. You know, there may deep sea mining. Last night or yesterday morning, I got to watch a film where I'm going to participate in. It's called Deep Rising, which is all about deep water mining. And it's not just it just gets to inform everybody what's going on and how indigenous rights and, you know, like just what we're taking, like we always do, too much, and lending my voice to this film. I have chicken skin again. Just lending my voice to it so that I'm not well enough. I don't have enough knowledge for it. So it's exciting because I'm going to be showing them, and by doing that, I'm hoping that action in informing more people. But now it's like I just got to meet them, and yeah, I'm very, very pushy and strong, and I want things done, and to the point where I'm like, I cannot stand walking through and seeing plastic. If there's a plastic bottle here, I'm like, why? You can't recycle it. There's 3 different types of plastic on it: the top, the wrapper, and this. Like, you can't recycle it anymore. Stop. Why isn't there aluminum? And yeah, bring your own bottle. Great, I do too when I'm at home, but I'm just like, we don't even have an option. So I just got tired of it. I don't want to bicker about it. I want to go do it. So with every different type of thing, I want to take action for it. So, you know, the mining thing is coming up. I just feel like plastic solutions, because it just has to stop. We can't recycle it. We can't. The only thing we can do is aluminum. And we can't make enough aluminum to do that, so we have to be accountable in our own home. You know what I mean? But we can only recycle so much. Like, yes, obviously we should be recycling. If you're throwing this in the garbage, you're in trouble. I'm going to come to your house. But yes, Lola, I don't want to speak on behalf of you if you'd like to answer about.
Okay. Well, my teacher once asked me, would you rather be a dreamer or a doer? And my answer was, you can't do either without doing the other. So to do something, you have to be able to dream. And there's no point in dreaming if you aren't going to do something. So as the next generation, we have to start doing something.
Eyes. You see all the wet eyes? That was beautiful.
Hi. So as a kid, you're always like, I'm gonna do all this stuff, but when you're an actual kid, you can't do many things. But there are little things you can do, like I struggle with this, like turning out your light when you leave the house, bringing out glass instead of a plastic bottle, getting aluminum, cutting up those thingies with the soda cans so that turtles don't get stuck in them and fish. So like there's those little things you can do, and it may seem insignificant, but imagine if everyone did those, we wouldn't have these problems. If everyone did something like that, the world would be so much better. We wouldn't have all that.
Well done. I'm sorry I didn't mean to booby trap you. That wasn't, yeah, I love you. Thank you. That was a beautiful, it's a wonderful question. And I think that's.
Thank you so much. I wish we had more time, but this has been amazing. And thank you all for joining this special moment for UNEP.
Thank you.
She was sitting right there.